Hi guys, it's Lisa, and I'm going to be doing a quick video today because I have to go into work. But I have been getting a lot of requests asking questions that I have already posted my videos for. Like, they're repeating questions. And I don't want to keep having to re-record the same thing all the time because it is a little, there's no reason for it. You know, if I already answered a question, why would I answer the same thing? Whatever. So I did want to make a general video just talking about the subject that I get a lot of messages on. So I don't know if it's because, like, I know during the holiday season breakups tend to rise. I don't know why. It's just like the scientific fact. I also notice it myself throughout every year. I get more messages during the holidays, Christmas, like New Year's. But for some reason I'm getting a lot of messages now about breakups, and I don't know if it's because of the pandemic, like people isolating, people, he scared me, literally the world ending. I don't know why, but people have been breaking up, and it's scary. So I don't want to make a video about that, but if I did, I would have so much to say. But I did want to just touch on this, getting over people, heartbreak, all that stuff, because it's like the easiest thing to talk about off the top of my head to a large group of people, because everyone takes it at their own, like, accord, their own pace. So when breakups happen, I feel like a mom talking to her child. Listen, sweetie, breakups happen. No, in real talk, I don't know who's watching my video. I don't know who you are. I don't know what led you to click on my video, but I did want to say thank you for first confiding in me to give you advice. If you don't know me, I've been doing relationship advice on YouTube for like 4 or 5 years, maybe 4, I don't remember, but I've been on YouTube for like 12 or 13 years. But I do requests, and like I said, this is just gonna be a general video, but I think breakups are actually an extremely beautiful thing. I know people, especially if you're like younger and you're going through this for the first time, you're gonna be like, what? Like, are you crazy? And everyone who's gone through it hopefully can see what I mean by that, or what I'm saying by that, but that they really are such a wonderful thing. Off the top of my head, I will say I don't think breakups with a person that you truly loved or saw a future with ever get easier. But this sounds so cliche, but it's not. You seriously just get stronger. You do get stronger. You take those lessons, you take that pain, and you bring it somewhere else. And then you eventually start to kind of grow up and mature. And it's like a muscle, you know, when you're working out. The reason why people work out and get buff is, I mean, their muscles, they tear when you're working out. And then that sore feeling is because you just like tore your muscles, which is completely normal. I forgot the name of the process. But then they rebuild and they get stronger and stronger. And I like to use that metaphor with breakups because it's true. Like, that's literally what happens. Not that your heart physically tears. It might. I mean, I'm not like a scientist or anything, but I'm assuming like your heart does acquire some physical changes after going through a breakup. But I think if you had just gotten out of a relationship, I think it's really important that you really are transparent with all your feelings. I don't want you to deny any feelings that you're experiencing. I don't want you to kind of convince yourself that what you're feeling is wrong, or that you're feeling too much of something, or that your feelings are bad. Like, that's the worst thing you can do. I think the best thing you can do is acknowledge that pain and be like, yes, I'm feeling this, I'm feeling sad, I'm feeling broken, but that is okay. But I will heal, but I will recover. I think it's a beautiful thing that we're able to feel these emotions because it tells us that we're human. And if you're not feeling those, then you're kind of a sociopath. So it's a good step so far that you're feeling heartbroken. And I promise you that that pain is there for a reason, because we need to remember that people are habits. You know, my mom's a habit, my dad's a habit. I'm used to them. I'm used to waking up and seeing them. Downstairs, my dad working because he has to work from home now. My mom on the computer doing Spanish lessons on Duolingo. I'm used to my boyfriend calling me every night when he goes to bed. I'm used to, like, people become habits, and not even just those specific routines like a phone call or watching your mom do Duolingo, but like the fact that they're just in your life and that you talk to them every day, or that you acknowledge their existence every day, that becomes a habit. So when you are no longer interacting with that habit, you experience a withdrawal. It's just like any other addiction, like caffeine, or I don't know, Married at First Sight, because I've binge watched all 9 seasons in the past week and a half, and I'm kind of crazy. but things are habits, and when you no longer are interacting with that habit, you start to feel withdrawals. And I think that the painful process of the withdrawals is inevitable, but I do think that we have some sort of control over how long it lasts. That is controversial because some people don't believe that. I do think that some people move on differently than others. I will always stand by that. Some people can move on in a month, some people move on in years. But it really does take some kind of control in order to facilitate that process. I don't think that the amount of control you have can dictate whether you move on in a week versus 3 years. Like, no, obviously it's not going to be that huge of a difference, but I really do think the pain will go on for as long as we kind of allow it. I think everything is kind of mental. I don't know if y'all saw this, the CIA just released a bunch of governments about manifestation and how the brain, like, dang it, I don't think I brought my hairbrush. And how your brain literally produces like these patterns or wavelengths or something that are physical things. I didn't read those documents yet. I was gonna this week. But I think that can really deeply apply to moving on, because, you know, if you're constantly thinking about how hurt you are, then your brain is gonna start to think that, thinking that is normal. However, if you start to think about other things like moving on, or not moving on, I'm sorry. I'm going through my purse and talking. It's not really turning out very well. But developing new habits, making new friends, going out, seeing new people, learning a new hobby, learning a new craft, your brain will start to think about that more than it will think about the person. And yes, that person is always going to be in the back of your head, but that's just, oh, I did find my hairbrush, but that's just how it has to be until you start to, you can say distract yourself, but I really do think that introducing new habits into your life is the best way of moving forward. You know, I've done that. After my first breakup, I started doing kickboxing. I started doing Krav Maga, which is like mixed martial arts, kind of. I joined a new church. I did a bunch of things after my first breakup, and yes, I was still hurting. You know, at the end of every church service with my friend, I would cry in her car for 2 hours about how broken I was. But the point of that is that I was doing it in the parking lot of a church. So I was trying, you know, I was at church, I was at kickboxing, I was at Krav Maga. I was doing things to help propel myself forward. And I always say that in my videos, that when you're hurt or when you're recovering from something, it's always good to fill the hole and not deepen it. So I feel like deepening the hole is constantly checking their Instagram, checking the person that they might have cheated on you with, their Instagram, or doing this, doing that, like things that aren't gonna help your character or help your heart, or even like partying, binge drinking, experimenting with drugs. All that's just gonna deepen the hole, and that therefore you don't just have a breakup to recover from, you have a drug addiction to recover from, you have an alcohol addiction to recover from, you have debt, you have physical injuries, you have mental, emotional injury. Like, if you deepen that hole, that's what actually causes people to spiral out of control. So I really think it's vital that you fill the hole. And I didn't need to be dumped 10 times to learn that. Fortunately, my first breakup, I was kind of smart enough to know that, just because to me it was common sense. Why would I do something stupid and just elongate that healing process? That's why I joined all these things, because I knew that that's what my heart needed and that's what I wanted. And I think it worked. I mean, I'm great. I'm happy. Like, I've grown so much. I'm in a happy relationship. Like, things have really turned around for the better. And I don't know. I only have positive stories to tell. Like, yes, I went through a traumatizing time with the physical healing process itself. It was very difficult. And I did definitely hit my, not my peak, my valley. I hit my valley at that point. You know, I was really going through it, but I think those moments are vital, because now I'm doing very well, and I can look back at those times and really acknowledge the progress that I've made, and acknowledge the hurt that I was feeling, and use that to help other people. And I know that, you know, when you're dumped, you're thinking, oh, I'm never going to be happy, I'm never going to be happy, I'm never going to replace them, I'm never going to find someone like them. And then you also think, nobody understands how I feel. He is different. This situation's different. My situation, no, it's not. It's not. It's all the same stories, just in different books, okay? Like, you think your situation is different, but if everyone thinks their situation is different, then nobody's situations are different. They're all the same. Yes, there's different circumstances, there's different like orders of events, but at the end of the day, you got your heart broken, and so did the person sitting next to you on the subway, and so did the person who cut you in line at Bojangles. It doesn't matter. We all go through this hurt, so quit thinking that you're the exception, that your story is the exception, that your pain is the exception. It's not. And if you keep thinking that way, then that's going to impede you from moving on, because you're going to keep thinking, oh, everyone can move on, but since I'm different, I'm not going to move on. Since he was actually the one for me, or she was actually my soulmate, I'm not going to move on. Yeah, you're not. Not with that attitude, not with that mindset, not with those affirmations, not with the idea that you are different from all the billions of people around you that are hurting. You're not different. And that's something that I really had to embed into my school to understand. I'm a teenage girl, I'm heartbroken, but I'm different. You know, my story is different. I really loved him and he broke up with me. So I'm different. I wasn't different. I swear if I could just punch my 18-year-old self in the face, I would. You're not different. You just are using that to justify how you feel. But that's not okay. You can't justify that. Justify it with honesty. Say, I feel this way because I was in love, but I can acknowledge that this pain is normal. It's inevitable right now. But soon it won't be, and I'll make the choice whether or not I want to keep continuing how I feel. Okay, so I do need to get into work, so I'm gonna have to cut this video short. I hope these words can help somebody. If they do, let me know down below in the comments. If they don't, I'm sorry. Maybe watch any of the other 400 relationship advice videos I have, or send me a request, but I have been really busy. So thank you so much for watching. Follow my Instagram and my art Instagram. I'll put those down below. I think TikTok's getting banned, but if it's not, I mean, I think it is, but I'll put my thing down below. It's the same username as my Instagram. Anyway, thank you so much, and y'all take care and be safe during this pandemic. All right, bye.